वैराग्य विद्या निज भक्ति योगा शिक्षार्थमेक पुरुष पुराण श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शरीर धारी कृपाम्बुदीयतमहं प्रपद्ये मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. Warm welcome everyone in the study of Bhagavad Gita. So we were discussing yesterday, right? Like something on the lines of uh, talent, attitude, and character. Hmm. Talent is something, again, skill set. Talent is something which helps us come to the close to the ladder of success. And attitude is something which helps us climb the ladder of success. Attitude with talent combined, of course, skills combined, of course. Yeah, they help us climb the ladder of success. But how to stay at the top of the ladder of success? Hmm? That is something character will help. Again, attitude and talent, it's not like then do no talent is required or not much attitude is required. Attitude and talent is required, and then that consistency, that staying at the top of the ladder of success. Hmm? Character, staying there is forming our character, and then that character has to become our natural vritti, our natural swabhav, our natural character, our natural identity. Humility should be natural. Everything in the practice of Krishna consciousness one day has to become natural. Naturally calm, naturally peaceful, naturally tolerant, a natural devotee. Uh, This is the prayer, this is the aspiration, what we are praying for, what we are crying for. We have to cry out for the mercy of Mahaprabhu. Hmm? We have to give ourselves fully. Giving ourselves has to be fully only. Hmm. So then that we pray that one day the overall, and see right now in this condition state we have to so much na practice of Krishna consciousness and this. And in Chaitanya Chaitamrita, believe it is Pundrika Vidyanidhi, associate of Mahaprabhu, your devotee. So if I get correct, Pundrik Vidyanidhi, he was a wealthy person. He was a wealthy person, and some devotee had sent him to some devotee to Pundrik Vidyanidhi to understand Krishna consciousness. That you go take counseling shelter of Pundrik Vidyanidhi and study Krishna consciousness under his care and shelter. I don't know, I don't remember personalities' names, huh? So forgive me for that. But this person, he was told to go to the shelter of Pundrik Vidyanidhi and understand Bhagavad Dharma. So he went there, and what did he see? Externally, he saw Pundrik Vidyanidhi living in a very lavish house and having very good furniture, and he was uh, just relishing eating fruits and also wearing very heavy jewelry and wearing very expensive dress. And also he saw him interacting with others, maybe some woman and all, in a very uh, something which he thought like, okay, I shouldn't expect a devotee to be this fun or living so posh like that. So that devotee, then he did not go further speaking with Pundrik Vidyanidhi, and he came out again. And he said, like, you have sent me to Prindik Vidyanidhi, but to me, he looks like a proper karmi, a proper materialist, anything of devotee like that. And you speak so high of him. But I think you are getting wrong somewhere. He's like, I saw from my own eyes, I went and I saw him. He, to me, he looks like no different from a materialist. Rather, he looks like a very top class materialist, very high up in the league of materialists. So the devotee who had sent told him that no, you have mistaken, and the way what you are seeing is not the way, and you have mistaken. Go back to Pundrik Vidyanidhi and see him again. And this time when you go, sing these shlokas, one or two shlokas. Some shlokas he gave them and asked them to sing them shlokas in front of Pundrik Vidyanidhi. I might be in the past time. I'm forgetting the names for sure, and some maybe some details or some incidents. But message wise, I hope I'm capturing the right message. Huh? So this gentleman, this devotee, again he goes to Pindrik Vidyanidhi and he tells some shloka. I don't remember exact which shlokas. It could be Aho Bakiyam Stan Kalakutam or some shloka glorifying the beauty of Krishna and glorifying the sweetness, the mercy, the glorification of Krishna. Huh? So he sings, and as he sings Pundrik Vidyanidhi, he goes into trance, he goes into ecstasy, complete trance, and he loses control over himself. And he just cries out then. He cries out, he listens to the sound vibration, the shloka, where is this being chanted? Where is this coming from? And the person who is chanting, I go and touch his feet, I go and embrace him, hug. So much so like uh, divinal ecstasies completely come up upon Pundrik Vidyanidhi. And this person who goes, he also realizes, and there is some like fault finding or some prejudging and all some things there, but he comes to his senses, say that how exalted Pundrik Vidyanidhi are devotees. So the entire practice of Krishna consciousness message for us being we have to go very deep in our sadhana, very internal in our bhajan. The message being, see for us this practice, all this, they may appear a bit technical. Now the problem, one of the problem with us is especially 21st century, we see by and large everything is a process. mm, or at least like working people na, especially in this technology oriented say, everything is seen like a process. And with process means, okay, tell me the steps to follow. Step 1, step 2, step 3. If everything okay, then go step 4. Otherwise, check step 5. All this. So very mechanical. By process, I mean we live in a very mechanical lifestyle, right? Mechanical zone, set standards, set norms, set process. Everything very mechanical. But bhakti is anything but mechanical. Bhakti is love for Krishna. In love, there is no mechanical involved. No, love should be always growing. Love should be always full of mysteries, full of surprises, charm, and everything. So, the practice for us doing japa, it is an adventure, it is a thrill. It should not be mechanical. Studying Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, they should not. Process means what? Again, mechanical in the sense Bhagavad Gita, 18 chapters, 700 shlokas, this is how you chant, this is how you it's like Google saying Bhagavad Gita dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yovanam jara tatha dehantara prapti dhirastatra namuyati. Google can also read this shloka, right? Google can tell us all the things, but the bhav, the sentiment behind those shlokas, the mood, the message, nah, that thing Google cannot give us. And this is what in a devotee association we have to cry out for this. This should be our attainment and achievement. That understanding the devotional culture and bringing that mood of devotional culture in us. So, devotional service is a natural vritti. This chapter entitled Devotional Service. It is a natural proclivity, natural tendency to love and serve, and we should, but because we are so much in our foreign nature, so much conditioning, so much foreign nature, this is why it is a struggle for us. This is why it becomes a struggle. And now struggle, and in this struggle we have to come to our original nature. But it need not be struggle provided I take association, devotee association very nicely, then it won't be a struggle as such. Or if at all, it will be a very sweet desirable struggle, very sweet struggle. So on this note, on this aspiration that bhakti doesn't become like a task, a burden, a process to me. No, it is not a process, it is not a task, it is not a burden. It is not like, okay, I have to do something. It should not come across like that. It should be our natural proclivity. So, with this mood, prayer, aspiration, we pray for more and more blessings so that how we can consume ourselves. It is such a great feeling to get oneself completely consumed, completely lost, completely sold out, completely consumed in the teachings of Mahaprabhu, in thinking of Mahaprabhu, in loving Mahaprabhu, in the absorbing ourselves in the mercy of Mahaprabhu. है we should lock ourselves completely in a room or wherever possible, as in lock ourselves from any distraction, any mundane attraction, any mundane activities, and do what? Read, read for if we can read for hours and hours daily, if we can chant for hours and hours daily, if we can listen for hours and hours daily, if we can meet up, associate for hours and hours daily, and this has to then become our first nature, that we व्यसन, there is a Sanskrit word व्यसन, व्यसन meaning जिसके बिना रहा न जाए, without which one cannot live, one cannot survive. And so many people in this world, addiction, no? It's a bigger form of addiction, व्यसन. So many people are addicted to drinking, smoking, eating meat, cannot live without it, cannot live. So likewise for us, we should not be able to live without chanting the holy names of Krishna, without doing japa, without reading, without hearing, without associating with devotees. That much of mood, that much of intensity, prayer, emotion, desire. We have to develop this desire, and this has to come about a bit naturally with some push, some encouragement, and some bit of force as well. But ultimately, it has to be a natural call, a natural desire. So we pray for that natural. And see, when things is natural, na, then everything becomes very simple. Hmm? When things are natural, say a politician, an economist, a mathematician, a scientist, for them they are naturally attracted to their field of work, say, or they are so skilled in their field of work that it becomes natural. For others, it becomes a task, it becomes a process, it becomes a burden, it becomes a pain. Here in this entire dialogue of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is speaking naturally in the middle of battlefield. Visualize it in front of your eyes, in the middle of the biggest warfare beyond imagination, say, or biggest by any means, and biggest tragedy Arjuna is having, deepest tragedy, deepest breakdown, highest breakdown Arjuna is having, and what not, other adjectives, whatever we can add, put on to. And Krishna is speaking this naturally, this dialogue naturally. Krishna never gets materially overwhelmed. So for him, it is a natural talk. He's speaking naturally. Likewise, for us, it has to be a natural understanding of Krishna consciousness, that I'm not this body, I'm a spirit soul, I am Krishna's, and furthermore. So, with this mood, prayer, understanding, with this desire, desire is a big thing. We must really value our desires. If we value ourselves, we must value our desires, and we must bring out the right desires, the proper, genuine desires. Mm. Desires are great. Desire. Just this desire can give me Krishna. Desiring to see Krishna, desiring to study Srimad Bhagavatam will give me liberation. Just the very desire. So this desire has to be intensified. I have to come to this natural desire. When I come to this natural desire, then I can free myself from the distractions of this material world, or even if there are distractions and all, I wouldn't get sidetracked. I shouldn't get sidetracked. So let us study Bhagavad Gita chapter 12 and text 16. We'll just read the translation and then study from text 17 onwards for today. So Krishna consciousness to begin with, it could be a task, a burden perhaps. This is Vedi Bhakti. Vedi Bhakti means with rules and regulations, which means they struggle and all. And it is essential, it is required, say. But we have to aim for minimum asakti, minimum attachment. Hmm. So Nikhil, maybe you can read the translation of text 16. It should be appearing on the screen anytime now. And then we'll go from 17 onwards for today. So Vedi Bhakti is with rules and regulations, but Raganuga Bhakti, it's spontaneous attraction, spontaneous love, spontaneous devotion. That is Raganuga Bhakti, and that is what we have to crave for, we have to prepare ourselves for in this life. We have to seek blessing for that. We should be seeking blessings, and we should be knowing what to be blessed for. What blessing do I want? So, yeah, I think we read this right. If you remember, did we read this 16 translation and purport? Yes, we read this. We couldn't discuss much, but we read this, yes. So, Nikhil, read the translation of text 16. अनेक अनेपेक्ष शुचिर्दक्ष उदासीनो गतव्यत सर्वरंभ परित्यागी यो मद्भक्त समप्रिय.
Hare Krishna. My devotee who is not
No, this
dependent,
is text 17. Text 16, just read this. Read the translation. Text 16. Mhm.
yes, Lord. My devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for some result, is very dear to me.
Beautiful, beautiful translation. Just read the first sentence of the purport. First sentence only.
Money may be offered to a devotee, but he should not struggle to acquire it.
If automatically, by the grace of the Supreme, money comes to him, he is not agitated. Hmm. Okay. Beautiful translation in PowerPoint. We read the translation PowerPoint yesterday, but I think we couldn't manage to discuss much. But even today also, even if we discuss now, we won't be able to discuss much. Any shloka of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, we can never say, okay, this shloka we have discussed much. Uh, We can never discuss Bhagavad Gita much as such, no. But also, this doesn't mean that we just skip it out. N- By see, check this thing. How many rounds should one do? Maybe say minimum 16 rounds or 16 rounds. Huh? Okay, or 2 rounds, 4 rounds, 6 rounds, 8 rounds, 12 rounds, say 14, 16 rounds. Huh? Say 16 rounds. That much one should do that it becomes like a bit of a task, a bit of a pain, a bit of an extra push. Uh, If one is able to do 16 easily, say one can accommodate 16 rounds, he should chant 18 rounds. Uh, If one can read daily for 1 hour, he should read 1 hour 15 minutes. If one can listen daily for 1 hour, he should listen 1 hour 15 minutes. If one can do kirtan easy for 1.5 hour, he he should do kirtan then for 2 hours. Huh? Whatever we do, we should try to do that extra. This is attitude. See, from this these shlokas, na, from again from text 13 onwards until the end. Well, every shloka in Shrimad Bhagavad Gita is helping us to build our attitude. Is it not? Every shloka is say our talent is what? Our talent is that we came across talent in the sense our blessing is we came across devotees. That is the skill, the blessing we got. That someone approached me in Glasgow Street, someone approached me in London, someone approached me somewhere. Hmm? Someone approached me in Vancouver. Someone approached me somewhere. And then next step what? Oh, somewhere through Woofer site I got to know okay, volunteers are accepted in Karuna Bhavan, in Eco Farm or where somehow then next. So somehow our coming to devotional services, devotee association is our biggest talent. Say, wow, very talented person. If you have come to devotee association and taking devotee, is you are a very talented person. Now attitude we build work upon building the devotee attitude what is the required due attitude eh, for me to very nicely take devotee association. Otherwise it's a very broad or vague or devotee association. Devotee association automatically gives learning, automatically gives inspiration, encouragement. Devotee association means Krishna is not far off then. Yes, Krishna is not far off. Devotee association means remembrance of Krishna. Devotee association means falling in love with Krishna. Devotee association means inspiring to take on Krishna consciousness fully, imbibing it in my life, making it a lifetime engagement naturally. So, talent, no, we all are very talented. Now we take the right attitude. In the talent, mix the attitude, add attitude in the talent and help us make a proper character. And we should think one day we might well be now in say the body could be in the bracket of 20s, as in 20-year-old, somewhere in 20s, could be somewhere in 30s, could be somewhere in 40s. Na? One day we all might be touching 50 uh, in our bodily age. We might be touching 60 in our bodily age, 70s in our bodily age, and one day 80 in our bodily age, 90 maybe say in our bodily age, maybe 100 in our bodily age, but then we know we have to give up this body one day. How much are we prepared to give up this body? How prepared are we? Are we comfortable enough if I get to know tomorrow I may have to leave this body? That much should be our preparation. That next hour if I have to give up this body, am I prepared enough? Huh. So human form of life is very rare. We are talented to be getting this human form of life. Now let us bring the right attitude, the proper attitude, and prepare ourselves throughout that any moment, next hour if I have to give away my body, no complaints, no remorse, no regrets. For a sadhaka, there should be no unfinished business. If from now itself everything is finished for me, everything. That doesn't mean that I do not wash the dishes or I do not do household chores or I do not pay my bills and all. But everything is finished in the sense we are very peaceful. We are not worried. We are not, if I get the job, if I do not get the, those should not be the considerations. Then Krishna will be pleased, na, the attitude. So this will come about when we find good devotee association, we can see the beauty of Krishna, then naturally we would want to come to our proper original consciousness, the pure nature of the soul, which is to love and serve Krishna unconditionally. So my devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities. Any thoughts? What do we mean by ordinary course of activities? What does it mean? Harsha, Nikhil, yeah, Lucy,
Would it
Alessandra.
be like mundane activities?
Yes, like mundane activities. Something, yes, that. but something different, something like something more to add, something more to make it more clear. Ordinary course of activities, meaning in which we do not see the hand of Krishna, in which we do not see Krishna as the supreme controller, in which we do not see Krishna's involvement, Krishna's complete involvement, Krishna being the basis of it, in which we do not see that it is something to get me closer to Krishna, then it is an ordinary course of activity. As ordinary as brushing teeth. Now, brushing teeth, can we call it an ordinary course of activity? Brushing teeth, can we call it a mundane job? It is like a mundane job, right? It is an ordinary course of activity, right? But for a sadhaka, it can be, it need not be, it cannot. For a sadhaka, actually, brushing teeth need not be an ordinary course of activity in that sense. No? It's not like just brushing teeth, sort of. Why do I brush teeth again? To help clean my teeth, to keep good clean teeth. है ना? So mouth is clean, mouth is fresh. There's no germs or say less chances of diseases. And what? This is all to please Krishna. This is all to engage further in devotional service. Krishna would be pleased. So any activity could be an ordinary course of activity. Even going to temple could be an ordinary course of activity if it is not very much to seek devotee association and seek the mercy blessings of Krishna. Huh? Otherwise, nothing can be an like for a sadhaka, nothing should be an ordinary course of activity. So how job can become an ordinary course of activity, right? Someone could well be working for Aviva Insurance, say. Someone could be working for bank company. Someone could be working for say someone could be working for Sainsbury's. Whatever job, whatever study, we need not make it an ordinary course of activity. So, how? By understanding what is the goal in my life. What is the ultimate goal? What is the end point in life? Say, for someone, the end point is life is death. For a sadhaka, no, that is not the end point in life. We should be that much clear, or at least theoretically, that we are not here to die. I'm not here to die. I'm here to attain Krishna. Uh, I'm here to leave my body, quit my body, not to die. I've already died. This much be we should tell ourselves. We should come to this resolve. No, we should come to this level consciousness. We should pray for more blessings, more association and mercy that Krishna let me die. Let me die materially. Uh, I do not have any more material cravings. Then no more ordinary course of activity. Then we could be in devotee association, whatever we do, wherever we go, something like out of social obligation, whatever, it need not be an ordinary course of activity. Externally might appear very ordinary. Oh, what are you doing? I am going to Tesco to buy a bag of potatoes. Oh, that's such an ordinary mundane task. What's so great about it? Going to Tesco to buy a bag of potatoes, to get some oranges, to buy a toothbrush from Tesco, to buy a toothpaste from Tesco. Very ordinary course of activity you are performing, as mundane as that. huh? But it is the consciousness. Why? Why? So if I see Krishna as the basis of my life, then nothing can become an ordinary course of activity for me. I may be dressed externally ordinary, I may be speaking externally ordinary, going to an ordinary shop to buy an ordinary soap. Huh? But nothing. it is a matter of consciousness. No? Bhakti is a matter of consciousness. Our consciousness has to be protected. Humility has to be protected. The teachings, the learnings has to be protected. Attitude has to be protected. Character has to be very protected. These are our core things, and we shouldn't be exposing or revealing as such. No. So we are very sacred. We are very valuable, very pure. So we try to refrain from any distractions in life, any diversion. Already I'm so diverted in my head and mind. Already I'm so diverted. Already I'm so complex, puzzled, confused. Let me not be any more diverted. So activities are activities. Now through association, doesn't matter again material life or spiritual life. Activity is an activity. Brushing teeth is an activity only. But now through association of wise people, no, of devotees, spiritual practitioners say, we can make an ordinary activity completely spiritualized. Otherwise, externally, we may be doing what? Becoming the prime minister of a country. One could well be the prime minister of a country. But he's doing what? A complete mundane, ordinary activity. Put in such a big, prestigious post. Huh? But through consciousness, complete mundane ordinary activity. And externally, I could be a sweeper in the street, say. Externally it is a very ordinary activity, but could be well pleasing to Krishna. How I treat the street. Do I see the street as the property of Krishna? Hmm? If I see the street as the property of Krishna and sweep it with that emotion, with that gentle care, with a way that Krishna might would be pleased. If I sweep the street nicely, Krishna should be pleased. Guru Gaurang should be pleased. Krishna is watching me. Krishna is there. Then it need not be an ordinary course of activity. How do we bring this change in our thought process, in our outlook and attitude? How do we develop this attitude? There are many questions we may have, like on the how bit. How do I do this? How do I do that? है ना? How do I work on this attitude? How do I again improve my sadhana in general? How do I improve my sadhana? For this how is very interesting, and see the clear and the short answer to this how for any how question is what? By developing a reliance on Krishna, by developing, by taking shelter of Krishna. That is one element. By taking shelter of Krishna, that is the ultimate element. By taking shelter of Krishna, by relying on Krishna, by taking shelter of devotees, uh, by taking the shelter of devotees. Another, you see, the a more very practical, I would say, because this may sound a bit not so practical, na, taking shelter of Krishna and this, although that is the highly practical, by chanting the holy names of Krishna. Every how can be attained. How do I wake up early? Uh, How do I not waste time? How do I lose weight? How do I do this? How do I give up this bad habit? How do I stop cribbing? How do I stop backbiting? How do I? By chanting the holy names of Krishna, by devotee association, by practicing Krishna consciousness, by reading, hearing, chanting, and by chanting, by doing good japa. How do I climb Mount Everest? By doing good japa. Uh, So say this thing. If someone has a broken leg, say if someone fell off the streets, and say break his leg, how do I overcome this problem? Actually by chanting. Actually by chanting. But see, both things. It's not like just by doing japa the leg would be fixed. No, we need to go to GP, we need to go to doctor, we need to go to surgery and do things. But just going to GP, doctor, and surgery, the job is not fully done. Fix the leg, okay, but what? Consciousness has to be protected. So, by doing both japa and whatever GP, doctor, surgery is required, we may be a bit because see the result, whatever that result comes out of the GP, surgery, doctor, and all, it may be to our my liking, not liking, so many such things. But if I'm constantly chanting, doing japa, huh? Then whatever the result, I will take it as the mercy of Krishna and take it naturally as the mercy of Krishna. Take it naturally as the mercy of Krishna. So the answer to many a hows or all this how question, how do I do this, how do I do that, is by depending on Krishna. By and how do I become dependent on Krishna? By chanting the holy names of Krishna. How do I start doing more japa? Devotee association. Devotee association is the key, is the central to all our say understanding Krishna consciousness in life. Mm. So ordinary course of activity, na? Again, anything could be very ordinary, very ordinary. Uh, as ordinary, like again leading the country, prime minister role, leading a country. It could be an ordinary course, or even sweeping the street need not be an ordinary course, depending on where what do I see as the basis. If I see Krishna as the basis of my life, the foundation of any activity I do, then nothing can be ordinary. Then when I cross the street, also wherever, it's not like when I'm living in a temple, then I'm a devotee, or once out of the temple in my home, then I'm free, or if I'm in a bus or a train, then I'm no more a devotee. No, death can come anytime, anywhere, right? So I should be a devotee now and forever. This should be the prayer. So Krishna, help me die. Help me die. We want to die materially as soon as possible. As soon as possible. That does not mean that I give up this body, say, huh? But die materially with material desires, consumed, overthrough with material desires. And there will be impressions. It's not like I'm not still harboring those impressions and all towards, say, watching sports, whatever things. Huh? But let me just create no more further material desires. And this lingering, hovering material desires, whatever is there, I should be able to say no to them in front of them, say no to them and move on. That much is what Krishna is expecting from us. Huh? See, practicing devotional service, the reactions of our sinful activities and of our good activities, they have been burned down by ashes. We should come to this conviction. But now, sin no more, as it teaches in Bible, right? Such beautiful teaching. We might have been sinning, not might, we are sinning, sir. We are sinning actually since eternity. But now in this life, let me sin no more. Let me love Krishna more. Yeah. Since eternity, I've been harboring material desires, some spiritual desires as well, but now all one sided on the way to Krishna. Then nothing would remain ordinary. But otherwise, if Krishna is not in the center of my life, if devotees are not the center of my life, if bhajan, practice of Krishna consciousness, sadhana, if japa is not in the center of my life, then any activity would be an ordinary course of activity for me. Any activity. Otherwise, I might be have to go to Tesco to buy what an ordinary soap, but that need not be an ordinary activity for me. Externally might appear as any ordinary, but internally it is a relationship I have with Krishna and with devotees. Krishna is watching. Krishna is always watching. If this much sanity I can develop in life, na, I can never cheat anyone. I can never harm anyone. I can never do wrong to anyone. Uh, I can never mistrust anyone. If I this much sanity and look, Krishna is watching. Krishna knows. Krishna is in supreme control. Krishna sanctioned this in my life. So I can never then have complained. Yes, this has come to pass, which means Krishna had approved it. Only this is why this has come to pass. Suppose I miss my train, I miss my bus, and from my side I did all the best to get on time in bus, to reach to the bus station on time, but somehow I missed it. So what? Yeah, Krishna had other plans. This is for my purification, for my benefit. Krishna knows this. Krishna watched this, Krishna sanctioned this. So this much sanity I must develop. And all this can be developed only when I see Krishna as the object of my love, as in when I start loving Krishna, when I want to love Krishna, when I want to have direct darshan of Krishna. So all these like shlokas in Bhagavad Gita and all, they should not just be like for us, okay, 18 chapters, this text here, there. No, it should not be like a process oriented thing. It's not like a mechanical steps, process, task oriented things for us. But we need them. We definitely need chapters and all these divisions. We need them for us to grow. But we should throughout strive to develop attachment, minimum attachment to Krishna in this human form of life as soon as possible. And advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the follower, does not depend on the number of days, hours, minutes, months, years one has been practicing Krishna consciousness. The number of years practicing Krishna consciousness has no big criteria, is no big criteria, is not got no big say. Yes, number of years is good. It shows commitment, definitely. It shows determination, definitely. It shows trust, definitely. Yeah. Someone practicing 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Wow, yes. Very inspiring. But for personally for me, Sina, I should not be making it like a okay, 10 years, 20 years. Oh, today I become 6 years, 7 months in Krishna consciousness. 6 year, 9 months in no, no. We should not personally. I should not try to bring all these quantifications because advancement in Krishna consciousness is an internal advancement. How do what is internal is what will come out externally also, na? It's not like externally I will start growing horns in my head. That's not the sign of advancement. Or externally my voice will suddenly change, say, or practicing Krishna consciousness and suddenly like when I start singing sing very sweet now. No. Or externally like I put on more weight, I put on less weight, or my skin color, skin tone gets a bit more different. No, no. So advancement, there are some factors, number of time, years put in, say is one, but advancement again is not calculated or seen by the number of years one puts in. Again, it is not by how many rounds have I done so far in daily, how many rounds have I done. No, advancement doesn't is not at all dependent on these quantification elements. Advancement is how much. See, advancement in Krishna consciousness is how much separation do I feel from Krishna? Do I experience from Krishna? How much separation do I experience from my Guru Maharaj, from devotees, from uh, devotees, from Vaishnavas? How much separation? How much craving? How much do I miss studying Bhagavad Gita? How much do I miss doing japa? That is advancement. So advancement is not on number of years, nothing like that. No, none of the quantitative elements is like sign of advancement. Advancement is how much I like listening to Bhagavad Gita or how much I miss. uh, when when will I get to listen to Bhagavad Gita? When will I get to listen to Bhagavatam? When will I get to do more japa? Advancement is how can I chant only 16 rounds? Why do I chant only 16 rounds? Why do I read only 1 hour? Why can I not read more? As we were discussing, right? One thing is I have to, another is I get to, another is I want to, another is I like to, another is I love to. Where do we want to put ourselves? What would we say? I have to study Bhagavad Gita. I get to study Bhagavad Gita. I want to study Bhagavad Gita. I like to study Bhagavad Gita, or I love to study Bhagavad Gita. This is a question. Where would we want to see ourselves? Oh, I have to do japa. I have to read Bhagavad Gita. I have to listen to classes. I get to do japa. I get to listen classes. I get to study Bhagavad Gita. I want to. I like to read. I like to listen. I like to do japa. Or I love to listen, love to read, love to do japa. Where should we be putting ourselves to? Any thoughts?
Love. Love.
So the love is has to be the aim. Love is our goal. Love is the thing we are aiming for. And we should never forget this. We might be going to passport office, we might be going to dental surgery, we might be going to gym, uh, we might be going wherever. Again, we might be going to supermarket to buy something. We might be going to buy tomatoes. But love has to be always in our forefront. So advancement has got nothing to do as such with the external ways. But we wear again devotional dress, we put on tilak and everything, and this is not like an external advancement or showing external advancement. It could be external advancement depending on my consciousness, but we want to imbibe all this so that it helps us come to the mood of devotional platform, develop that devotional mood. Krishna is again bhavgrahi janardana. He does not see what brand of dress am I wearing. See on this money thing, na, in in kurta there is no in dhoti there is no pocket, no front pocket, no side pocket. So no hassle of keeping phone. Nowadays, see, more than wallet, it is the phone, right? Pocket, I need a pocket or something to put the phone or look after the phone. So this is like ordinary course of activity or course of activity. Huh? Who is pure? Again, pure what? We take the message of Bhagavad Gita as it is, without any adulteration, without any interpretation. That is purity. What we hear from spiritual masters, what we hear from devotees in line of succession, disciplic succession, we apply, we put it into practice, and we repeat the same. That is purity. That doesn't mean that there is no scope for independent thinking. Uh, Repeat the same as in not like see Krishna consciousness. I tell you what is Krishna consciousness? It is no more than copy paste. It is not cut and paste. Material world means cut and paste. Cut and paste as in, okay, someone has done something, let me copy that idea, cheat that idea, cut that idea, and paste it. As in, put my name. And let me, how do I climb the ladder of success? Let me pull him down. So I learned whatever I wanted to learn from him. Now let me cut him down and overtake him. That's material world. Cut and paste. Krishna consciousness, copy and paste. Whatever we are listening, we need to paste the same. And again, this copy and paste doesn't mean that we repeat exact same words exactly. Word by word we repeat. No. Copy and paste meaning we understanding the message, the mood, the bhav, and sharing that message, that mood, that bhav. That purity always has to be checked. That whatever I am speaking, it is, we should be praying that Krishna, you make me speak. Krishna, you make me dance. Krishna, you make me sing. Krishna, you make me cut potatoes. That is purity. That Krishna, you use me. I'm available. I'm flexible. And whatever I do, Krishna, it should glorify you. Hopefully, this pleases you. Hopefully, this pleases Vaishnavas. That is the stipend. What does stipend mean? Chaitanya. Yeah, Nikhil, what does stipend mean?
Scheduled payments that we receive.
Ah, yes. प्रेम धन बिना मोर दरिद्र जीवन दास करी वेतन मोरे देव प्रेम धन. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu's Udgar. Mahaprabhu, I think Mahaprabhu himself is saying it. I think this comes in Antya Lila, chapter 20, the last chapter. Prema dhana bina mora daridra jivana. What does daridra mean, Nikhil?
Poor.
Poor, fakad. है ना? Daridra means poor, one who is stricken with poverty, hardship, struggle, one who is very low in the ladder, say. So, without prema dhan, without the love of Krishna, one should feel that I am completely poor in this life. I have not attained the love of Krishna. Prema dhan bina mora daridra jivan das kari vetan more deo prema dhana. What does vetan mean?
Stipend. Payment.
Stipend, salary, pay. So, accept me, Krishna. Please accept me as one of yours. And now, see, devotees are so tricky. Or Mahaprabhu in devotional bhav is devotees are very expert. See, what is saying? Dasa kari vetan more dev prema dhana. So, भगवान को क्या बोले कि भाई भगवान मेरे को स्वीकार करो दासता में आपकी सेवा में. हाँ, स्वीकार करो. लेकिन ऐसा भी निष्काम नहीं है कि बस और कुछ नहीं चाहिए भगवान आपकी सेवा ही. क्या वेतन मोरी देव प्रेम धन है, कुछ ना कुछ तो चाहिए ना भगवान से. क्या चाहिए आपका प्रेम धन. और प्रेम धन क्या है भगवान की और सेवा और सेवा और सेवा. यही प्रेम धन है भक्तों के लिए. सो डिवोटीज आर सो एक्सपर्ट. They're not just like saying give me just your service and no, like selflessly. No, we want service of Krishna. We want Krishna, you accept us. Krishna, you want something to be done, kindly use me in doing that. Kindly use me in doing that. And in return, give me your love. Give me your love. No, so we have to ask, we have to beg, we have to cry. We want that love of Krishna. And what is that love of Krishna? That is for us is getting more and more service or getting more and more able to listen to Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. That is, yes, Krishna loves me. Being able to chant more and more. Relishing japa is love of Krishna. If I can lock myself in a room, है ना, no distractions, no email, no distractions and all, no work calls and all, huh? And read, hear, chant. Wow, this is what the pay we are asking for Krishna. Krishna telling Narad Muni, what does he say? Naham tishtami vaikunte. Yoginam hridayeshu va. Krishna tells to Narada, Naham tishtami vaikunte. Tishtami as in residing, as situated. So I'm not in Vaikunta. Yoginam hridayeshu va. Neither in the hearts of the yogis say. Tatra tishtami Narada. There is where I live, Narada, where? Yatra madbhakta gayanti gana. Where my devotees, Yatra gayanti madbhakta, where my devotees are chanting my holy names. Huh? That is where I am. So we might again be going to Tesco or wherever. Why can we not take the holy name of Krishna with us? We can. When we walk, we shouldn't just be silently walking. We should be singing and walking. We should be listening and walking. We should be reading and walking. Reading and walking may not be so practical, say, but at least we can sing and walk. We can listen and walk. When we are in a bus journey, we can read something. When we so this is how we can shape. We should, and this we would get all the intelligence how to shape up my life when I practice some devotional service and take more devotee association. So it's not an external process, it's not a mundane process, it's not a sentimental process, it's not less adventurous or monotonous, no, nothing of that sort. Without cares as in one who is not casual, irresponsible, no. One who is completely taken shelter of Krishna. That is without care. Then no worry. Baba, I have given myself to Krishna, then I should not be worrying. This worry is not there for me. Stress is not there, not for me. Stress is there, not for me. I've given myself to Krishna. That is without cares. Living without cares. Free from all pains. That doesn't mean that I do not get bitten by a mosquito. No, bitten by a mosquito, this is material world. What else to expect? I might be bitten by a dog, bitten by a mosquito. But I should not cry over it. I should not worry over it. I should not lament. I should not complain, criticize. I should not curse over it. Not striving for some result, as in material, mundane, or name and fame. That doesn't mean I do not strive to make a temple for Krishna. And I do not see the outcome coming as the temple of Krishna. So, no, we should strive there. But materially, mundane, and all, we should not be striving. So the strive should not be to come across as a good speaker. Strive should not be to sound like a good speaker. Strive should not be to act like a good speaker, to look like a good speaker. It should not be to come across as a good kirtan player. It should not be strive should not be to be again to be able to play kirtan for long and long hours. Uh, We should not entertain all this name, fame, and all such things. No, we are not here for them sort of spiritual name, fame, and all. We are after Krishna only. We should be striving to please Krishna, to attain Krishna. To please devotees, to attain devotee association. Strive should be to please Guru and Gaurang. And this is why we are result oriented. It's not like we do not want to see more and more devotees. That is not a healthy attitude. That no, I am so detached that I do not want to see. It doesn't matter if they are devotees becoming or not becoming. No, that's the wrong concept of detachment. I go out distribute books. I'm so detached that if the person reads or doesn't read, I'm not worried. Say no, giving a book out to someone in book distribution, is it the end of the our service or is the beginning of our service? This is a question. Do I think that if I have distributed book to someone, then yes, the job is done?
It's the beginning, Prabhuji.
It's the beginning. It is the beginning. Yeah. So yes, we are results oriented, results driven. So just giving the book out to someone in the streets of Glasgow, say, and getting Lakshmi doesn't mean that we are not result driven. Oh, I've done this is the result I got. Yeah, I gave a Bhagavad Gita, got a 10 pound note, and yes, I got the result. No, we are result driven. We want to see more devotees. We pray that the person reads the book. We pray that he contacts devotees. We pray that he comes to temple. We pray that he starts doing japa and all. And we want to see these results. Yet, same time, simultaneously, we know that Krishna, this can happen only by your intervention, by your blessings, by the blessings of a pure devotee. And this is why we try to engage ourselves or purify ourselves to attract that blessing. That is detachment. When I do not see, real detachment is when I do not see myself as the doer and Krishna's mercy working, Krishna's will, Krishna's grace working. That is detachment. Detachment does not mean I do not go out, distribute books, I do not want to see results and all. That's not also selfless service. Selfless service is what? I have been used. Huh? Krishna has engaged me, used me as the instrument and gave result also. All joys, all glories to the assembled devotees. Right? All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Guru and Gaurang. That is selflessness. Selflessness doesn't mean that the self is dissolved or eradicated. The self stays, but he knows that I am no more my own property. I belong to devotees, I belong to Guru and Gaurang. That is real selflessness. Uh, That I do not have any mundane material desire. Now, my desire is to align myself with the desire of my spiritual master. That is selflessness. मैं रहेगा, मैं पना नहीं रहना चाहिए, है कि नहीं? मैं पना मतलब क्या? बकरी पना, मैं, मेरा मेरा मेरा, मुझे मुझे मुझे। मैं तो रह गई। I will always remain this I-ness, me and my, I, what about me, what about me, what about me. Now we care for ourselves. Why? Because we belong to Krishna. That is self-realization. That is selflessness. So it's an active engagement, Krishna consciousness. It's not an idle passive meditation. No, it's a very active meditation. Now look again, huh? Harsha, Lucy, Alessandra, Lakshmi ji, Nikhil, and all. Um, Externally, book distribution doesn't look like any meditation, right? Externally, it looks like you working for a charity, doing some voluntary work. There are energy companies, there are other companies who also go out on streets, put marquee, put a gazebo tent and all, and selling some things. Right? There's so many hawkers, vendors in a way. And externally, it appears that devotees are another set of hawkers, vendors. Right? But devotees engaged in book distribution, they are engaged in so much, it's like a going into samadhi. So much absorption, so much prayer, so much one pointed attention, so much humility, so much surrender. That is selflessness, to realizing that I self exist. And who am I? A representative of the Guru Parampara, a representative of the disciplic succession, a representative of Mahaprabhu in direct line, carrying that same message, giving that same message as it is, and praying that the message penetrates as it is, and pray that the other person, as soon as possible, very soon, By your grace, Krishna, he accepts. You residing as Paramatma in his heart, her heart, kindly bless them to appreciate, understand, and practice and become a pure devotee of Krishna. Prayer should be they become a pure advanced devotee of Krishna much better than I, much quicker than I. So a devotee is one who does not just think about his advancement or who is not so much like when do I become. No, advancement is when we see others advancing, when we pray, when we want others advance furthermore. And this has to come natural, genuine. We naturally, genuinely, we see others as advanced. Every other devotee is better advanced than us. Vanchitosmi, vanchitosmi, vanchitosmi na samshaya. Vishwam Gaura Rase Magnam. Vishwam Gaura Rase Magnam. Uh, uh, for me, I am to Vanchit only. Vanchit means deprived. So I am deprived, I am deprived, I am deprived. I missed it, I missed it, I missed it. I messed it up, I messed it up, I messed it up. And the entire universe is flooded in Gaur Ras, in Gaur Prem. Vanchito asmi na samshay. But for myself, I have messed it up. I am fallen or I miss. I'm not an advanced devotee. And this has to come as a, this is humility. This will come natural. One day we have to pray. We have to protect this. We have to maintain this. We have to throughout. No, throughout. Once a devotee forever. That is what we aspire. Okay, any thoughts, questions, or comments?
Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, like this Vairagya also means detachment, right?
Yes.
So hmm, there's
So
no
you got
difference.
go on, go on, go
Like uh, Vairagya is not having any rus in it.
on. Is this the question then?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So the question is, does Vairagya mean having no? Is Vairagya in itself has no ras? Is that the question?
Yes.
Okay. See, Vairagya, na? Vairagya means detachment. Okay, yes, fine. Rag means attachment. Mm, Rag is attachment. And Vairag means detachment. बिना राग के बिना attachment के. So in is वैराग्य itself रसहीन? यही प्रश्न है ना शायद.
Ah, Prabhu.
Is is vairagya in itself, does it not
Okay.
have any ras? And by
Yes.
ras, see, there is no good English word for us. There is no equivalent English word for us. There are many other Sanskrit words for which there is no equivalent. And ras is such a rasila word, है ना निखिल, है कि नहीं? कितना रसदार है, कितना रसीला,
Um,
कितना सुंदर लगता है.
yes.
Practicing Krishna consciousness ना, we find that the words they appear so much become charming. The words then carry potency, they have a meaning. Otherwise, before KC, रस was just रस only. अब रस कितना रसदार लगता है क्योंकि भगवान संबंधित है. Practicing Krishna consciousness now, every words and thing they have more meaning in life because we should see everything in relation with Krishna. Krishna is involved, engaged, is that center, is that the basis, at the foundation of it. So Vairagya, rag means attachment. Vairag means without attachment, detachment. So is Vairagya in itself rashin without ras, and ras meaning say juice. Ras meaning say pleasure. Ras meaning say mellow. Huh? These are some English transformation of the Sanskrit word ras. But ras is something, there's not a direct I suppose an English word for rus, but understand rus as pleasure, as mellow, as sweet, as relishable, as juice, that sort of. So the question is vairag in itself without any juice, without any pleasure, without any mellow, without any pleasure से वैराग मतलब क्या? संसारी वासनाओं से हमारा राग उठ जाना, दैट इज वैराग. वैराग मीन्स डिटैचमेंट, मीनिंग no more materially absorbed or attached or having that material liking and desire. So that is why vairag, when we free ourselves from material uh, attachments, as in, oh, I cannot live without this, है ना? व्यसन बात करी ना, व्यसन. व्यसन means something, a bigger form of addiction, huge form that I cannot live without it. So bhajan can never be a व्यसन in the sense, or bhajan should be our व्यसन, that I cannot live without chanting the holy names of Krishna. That is a advancement. I cannot live without reading, hearing. I miss Bhagavad Gita. I miss reading, hearing. I I just want the time to not stop. And we should be realizing this in devotee association, that time has come to stop. Time is put to hold. You know? And I do not want the time to move any forward. So vairagya is detachment. Detachment in itself is not without pleasure. No, detachment has its pleasure. Why? Because it frees us from matter absorption. So that is why it gives us some peace, some relaxation. जैसे like there used to be in many prisons around the world, not anymore, but before 50, 60, 70 years ago, for some prisoners, the punishment was to hold them by the neck and put them in water. Even in interrogation nowadays, still this is done. Hold a person by the neck, put him or him under water, and make him desperation for breathing for as long as he can hold his breath, say, and then pull him back up again. And back up again, not for long, just couple of minutes, and then again put him back underwater. So do this torture to him. So vairag is what? Detachment from matter. So being free from matter is again like my neck has been pulled out of water and I can breathe a bit, but then again going back in water. So material detachment is vairag is like material detachment coming out of matter. But just coming out of matter would not help me, na? Just coming out of matter, enjoyment, matter, absorption, and all is not the ultimate solution. How far and how many ways can I free myself from matter? If I can go into the caves in Himalayas or caves in Spain, you know, or caves in Italy, or mountains in Spain or Italy or France, and in some caves, uh, how far can I go and how far can I detach myself? So, detachment, worldly detachment gives a sense of relief but does not give us real pleasure. But vairagya in itself is not monotonous, in itself, it is uh, not pleasurable. There is pleasure in it. Why? Because it frees the soul from matter absorption. So that gives some pleasure to the soul. But the soul is real hankering is for raso vaisa, for pleasure in engaging in Krishna consciousness. वहां पे राग उत्पन्न करना है. We have to become attached to Krishna. That is the real thing. Real detachment is attachment to Krishna. That is real detachment. Like real selflessness is what? Understanding that the self belongs to Radha Krishna. The self belongs to Guru Gaurang. That is real selflessness. And now living by that. So real detachment is becoming attached to Krishna. Was Arjuna detached or attached? He was not detached, he was attached. He fought the war. After the war, he lived as a king also. He served his duties and all. So he was attached to Krishna. That is how we can be detached from this world. Pundrik Vidyanidhi, na, rich person he was, rich person, good looking, good dress, everything. And can one say, oh, was he attached or detached? He was very attached to Krishna, worldly detached. That is what we aspire. So, real detachment is becoming attached to Krishna. That is the ultimate fulfillment of detachment. Does this answer your question, Nikhil?
Yes, Prabhu. Beautiful, sir. Beautiful. Hare Krishna.
The stages in Krishna consciousness is never to put us in a limbo. What does limbo mean? Alexandra, Lucy, Harsha, Nikhil, Lakshmi ji.
It's when you're sitting and floating in between, like the two worlds, like in nothingness.
Yes. Huh? So, Krishna consciousness. Yes, Lakshmi ji. Were you saying something? Okay. कृष्णा ना क्या ऐसे है क्या निखिल आसमान से टपका खजूर में अटका समथिंग लाइक दैट हाँ
Oh, Krishna.
नो नो इन जनरल हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं ना क्या आसमान से टपका खजूर में अटका हाँ
Ah,
so krishna consciousness is not to put us in a limbo position meaning okay it is not us to free from okay maybe okay let me ask this as a question is krishna consciousness meant to free me from matter a question is Krishna consciousness meant to free me from material enjoyment, free me from matter absorption, matter quantification?
meant to be, it helps me.
Ah, very nice. Good use. It helps me, but it is not meant for that only. Yes, it is meant for that also, but that is not the ultimate purpose. That is not the real purpose. No. That is more of a side effect. It helps me as a side effect to free myself from matter enjoyment, matter absorption, matter quantification. Krishna consciousness is meant to me to attain Krishna, to attain Golok Vrindavan, to attain liberation, to attain eternity, to attain eternal rasa, to attain eternal enjoyment, eternal pleasure from this moment now. Not waiting to die, not waiting to leave the body ऐसा नहीं है this is not like okay once I die then I will go to krishna loka and enjoy then I am liberated. Uh, no, from this moment now krishna consciousness is meant for us to attain eternal and bliss, eternal rasa, eternal pleasure, and as a byproduct of it we get free from matter absorption, matter engagement, matter relishment and all, matter dependency and all. We detach from matter as a byproduct. Dhruv Maharaj na he attained dham, he attained Vaikuntha dham. As a byproduct, he quit his body. He walked over. He had to. Yamraj, the Lord of Death, came requesting, "Kindly, sir, leave your body here. You have to give up this body. I'm in charge of the postmortem of material affairs, na, so I have to do this in my records and all these things." So Dhumara said, "Okay, fine, take this, fine, okay." And he went into the Vaikuntha plane. So likewise for us, na, this is how we should leave this body, leave that impression or materially die as soon as possible, as soon as possible. Then only I can live life real. Uh, if I have to live life real, I have to become Krishna conscious. I have to pray for mercy. I have to pray for devotee association. I have to every time remember how blessed am I that I came across devotees. How blessed, such a fortune that I came across Vrindavan, I came across holy name, I came across Japa. And some also this devotee association, it has to go more deep, more refined, more narrow. Uh, In numbers speaking, body in numbers, there could be hundreds and thousands of devotees. Na? Say number wise, 100 devotees and all. Na? In UK, 100 devotees. Say Europe, 5,000 devotees. India, this many devotees. We cannot physically or practically, we cannot associate with all the devotees and all. We cannot listen to all of them and all. Uh, But somehow we need to pray that Sajatiya Sangha. What is that? I think Rupa Goswami or Acharya Seva. Um, Sajatiya Sangha Snigdatma Satovare. Sajatiya Sang means uh, like like-minded devotees. Like-minded devotees. In that like-minded devotees, we can attain a bhav. ना ultimately it is to attain भाव भावग्राही जनार्दन भक्ति तो भाव से होती है भजन भाव से होता है devotional service is with bhav, with sentiments, with emotions. So we need to develop those bhav, those rasas, those mellows. है ना? How do we love and serve Krishna? As a parent, as a friend, in Sakya bhav, in Dasya bhav, in conjugal bhav. uh, Further, even more deeper and evolved emotions and all. So that would come about with some concise, precise, narrow devotee association of realized souls. So Krishna consciousness is definitely not like an external process. It is not to for me to sound good, for me to look good externally and all. No, it is to genuinely become humble. Genuinely. And this is why lots of crying is needed in Krishna consciousness. Lots of crying. Any other questions, thoughts, or comments? See, this is one shloka, na? Chapter 12, text 16. We can never say, okay, we have discussed enough on this shloka of Bhagavad Gita or any shloka of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam for that matter. We can never discuss enough. But that also doesn't mean that we do not try to discuss as much as we can. We can never discuss enough, but it should not stop us from discussing as much as we can. This is Krishna consciousness where one can never say, I've had enough of it. I've done enough bhajan. I have had enough pleasure, enough fun in Krishna consciousness. We can never have enough fun in Krishna consciousness. We can have never have enough pleasure. And it is expanding, na? Expanding. If something is always expanding, how can we have enough? This is why this is timeless wisdom. It is imperishable. It is permanent, eternal. So, back again, how much japa should we do? Whatever we can do normally, naturally, say a bit, we must do little bit more than that. If I can do normally 16, I should do daily 6, 17 or 18 or 19 or 20, more than 16. How much donation money wise? If giving me 10 pounds is fine, I should push myself for giving 12 pounds wherever I feel that pinch. In reading, if I can read for 1 hour, I should pinch myself to read 1 hour 15 minutes. This is all attitude building, and character is what we have to aim for. Devotee character. Okay, any other thoughts, questions, or comments? World society is pleased by external, Krishna is pleased by internal, by bhav. Again, by bhav doesn't mean that externally I do not brush my teeth, I do not shower and all. No. Yes. We have to look after the body. Why? Because Krishna has given me this body. Krishna is the proprietor of this body, not me. This body belongs to Krishna. And the hands, feet, leg, they belong to Guru and Gaurang. Mind belongs to Guru and Gaurang. Intelligence belongs to Guru and Gaurang. Gaurang is another name for Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anga means body. Gaur means golden complexion. So Mahaprabhu Krishna himself appeared in golden complexion. His body color was gold. So another name of him is Gauranga. Yeah. So my heart belongs to Guru and Gaurang. Okay, text 17. Harsha can read translation and Alexander read purport. यो न रिष्यति न द्वेषति न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभ परित्यागी भक्तिमान यस मे प्रिय. All these are attitude building shlokas, not them just text chapter 12 throughout in Bhagavad Gita. Some of the shlokas they are principle in the sense um, uh, अहम सर्वस्य प्रभवो मत सर्वम प्रवर्तते ना और what that mata parataram nanyat Bhagavad Gita 7.7 Bhagavad Gita 10.8 where Krishna says there is no superior truth higher than or equal to me. Everything in this world is resting just as pearl strung on a thread. So that is like what more of a some siddhant, some principle, some absolute reality, absolute truth, and slokas in here something to help my consciousness, to build my consciousness level. Now some places Krishna says direct instruction, direct teaching. What matra sparshas tu kontaya sitosna dukada 2:14 where he says that learn the art to tolerate without getting disturbed. So that's an instruction and teaching. So Krishna whole Bhagavad Gita, Krishna consciousness whole Bhagavad Gita has got everything sambandh abhiday prayojan. uh, the relationship I have with Krishna, how to come to that relationship, how to build, and what is the purpose? Why do I want that relationship? So that I can go in Satat Bhajan, uh, complete eternal glorification of Krishna. Okay, Harsha ji, अनुवाद पढ़िए and Alexandra ji तात्पर्य purport. Okay, Ellie, you read translation purport.
One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things, such a devotee is very dear to me. A pure devotee is neither happy nor distressed over material gain and lust, nor is he very much anxious to get a son or a nor is he distressed by not getting them. If he loses anything which is very dear to him, he does not lament. Similarly, if he does not get what he desires, he is not distressed. He is transcendental in the face of all kinds of auspicious, inauspicious, and sinful activities. He is prepared to accept all kinds of risks for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. Nothing is an impediment in the discharge of his devotional service. Such a devotee is very dear to Krishna. One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things. Such a devotee is very dear to me.
Hmm. Such sweet translation and sweet purports, right? Just reading them or listening them, hearing them in itself brings so much of peace, so much of motivation, so much of clarification. Any person now, where is it like? Is it a sectarian thing? Uh, Oh, we are this sect, we are that sect. No, it is not at all sectarian. One who neither rejoices nor grieves, huh? Who neither laments nor hankers desires. One who is done with auspicious, inauspicious, whatever. So where is that sectarian mood? Is Krishna speaking to an audience here? Is he speaking to British audience? Is he speaking to Spanish audience, French audience, Arabic audience? Where is there this sectarian mood in Bhagavad Gita? Is there anywhere a sectarian mood? No, nowhere. It is not at all a sectarian message, pure universal message, and should be taught in every school, college, university around the globe. Speaking to humankind, mankind, for us, for our ultimate benefit, to attain the highest goal. So that which is completely pure, universal, sectarian, we struggle to appreciate, understand, see, and we make it very sectarian. It is not sectarian, but we take it sectarian and see how much trouble in society in preaching Krishna consciousness, how much less acceptance of Krishna consciousness. It should be taught in school, college, uni. Then, school starts or school ends or in between school. There's so many fights take place. In parliament also, so many chaos fights. Everyone is like a child only, behaving like child. Could be in 70-year-old body, whatever body, but behaving like child. But when we start reading, hearing, chanting, then we don't act like a child. We start to mature. We start to grow up. The teaching is very universal, very broad, and it should not be like treated as mundane or no. More and more propagation of Krishna consciousness should be allowed in society. Only then real peace will come about. Only then sustainable peace will come about. Otherwise, we will be confusing ourselves with what is the definition of peace, and or otherwise we will be having, well, for you, this is your definition of peace. If this gives you happy, good for you. If that gives you happy, good for you. Yeah. But it is Krishna consciousness only which can make everyone happy. Make everyone happy because everyone is connected to Krishna through a bond of love, proper. So one who neither rejoices nor grieves. So somewhere coming in equilibrium. We don't have to पसर जाना ना, ये एक कला है हम में. We don't need to just spread out ourselves as in क्या बोलेंगे पसर जाना को हिंदी में, इंग्लिश में, हर्षा, निखिल. हाँ निखिल, हर्षा.
No idea, Prabhu. Pasal
Oh, but we understand, right? पसर जाना.
Yes, Prabhu.
हाँ, so in a way spreading out. Uh, so we problem is we just very much spread out somewhere and go in. But like a devotee should be like touch and go. Anyone here ever touched fire, say while cooking or doing something? While cooking or preparing fire, as in wood log burner or something, touched fire.
Yes, Prabhu.
And for how long?
For
By
seconds.
how long? Few seconds only, right?
Yes,
When we touch fire, it is always touch and go. It is always touch and go, is it not? Touch electricity. It is always touch and go. Doesn't matter where we are, with whom we are, what we are, nighttime, daytime, sleeping, not sleeping, and all. Touching fire is touch and go. Touching electricity is touch and go. Likewise, we should not allow ourselves to be absorbed anywhere. Uh, Materially, we should just be touch and go. And why touch? Because it is ours. It has become our second nature. We are here fighting with our second nature. I'm here fighting with no one. No one is my enemy in this world. Just my own second nature, which has come about from my samskars, impressions, long lasting impressions from subconscious mind, from previous lives. So many carried impressions, accumulated impressions that has become my habit, become my second nature now. And I'm fighting here with my second nature. So the fight, like, okay, I watched this TV show, I like it, I like shopping, I like eating, I like partying, but now I'm practicing Krishna consciousness. So how do I strike a balance? How do I refrain? So we are fighting with our second nature. So touch and go. Whatever we used to do earlier, maybe more. Now we limit, we come down. This is why regulation, na, bhakti in regulation say and all. And ultimately, what to attain Mahaprabhu, to attain Radha and Krishna. So sense gratification in the sense touch and go, touch and go. But bhakti should not be touch and go. Bhakti should be completely absorbing ourselves more and more, more and more. But Krishna, when he sees na this attitude, that grieving also we should not be much grieving, and rejoicing also we are not much rejoicing. But this is a healthy attitude, isn't some symptom for us to tell to Krishna that yes, Krishna, we are serious. Uh, just like applying for a job interview and all, na. So it is checked how much serious is he? Does he really mean it? So how do we show our love for Krishna? It is only through them only, right? I do not rejoice, when I do not grieve also much. That means, okay, materially I'm somewhat sane. Krishna, yes, look, I'm somewhat sincere, somewhat serious. When I do not desire or hanker or lament too much, that means, and only then I will coming to a very peaceful state, and from there I need to advance, scale high up in devotional practice, uh, and renounce both auspicious and inauspicious. So we have to come to a stage wherein we see, eat, drink, sleep, Coca-Cola. And what the devotee? Eat, drink, sleep, eat, Krishna Katha. For us, whenever, wherever, and all should be remind of Krishna and never forget Krishna. To attain that stage, we have to come in this sort of equilibrium bhav. We need to understand what is dear to me, uh, what is not so dear to me. How can I be live in this world, but not be of this world? When I understand that I am a passenger in this world, I'm a prisoner in this world, I'm serving time. Passenger, na? Passenger is not like when he's traveling passenger, he's not traveling. He knows that, okay, I have to, like in train, right? I know that I have to travel in this train 8 hour journey, 10 hour, 18, 24 hour journey only. ट्रेन ट्रेन में कोई घर बसाता है क्या? Does anyone make a family in the train? No. He knows, Baba, I am here for a short time. And it is always recommended, right? When traveling, short journey, long journey, travel light, carry less baggage. Okay? So likewise, when we are also in the travel towards Golok Vrindavan, we should carry minimum material attachments. We should harbor minimum material desires. Carry lightweight. Only then we can go high. Uh, a good traveler understands that he doesn't want to be of any pain to someone. Say a good traveler going in a foreign country, and if he starts a ruckus, he can be deported, right? Likewise, us as traveler, we don't want to upset anyone in this world. We are not after upsetting someone. No, we are just after attaining Krishna. So keep calm and carry on. No? So keep calm and chant Hare Krishna. That is what Krishna wants. Just keep calm and chant Hare Krishna. We are like passengers only. We are like travelers only in this world. Passengers cannot have a high nose. Travelers do not have a high nose, should not have a high nose. They should not have a egoistic attitude. A refugee should not have a high nose, should not have an egoistic attitude. Refugee can never be demanding. Na? A refugee should not have complaints. A refugee should see everything like, oh wow, so merciful, so kind. So I'm a refugee in this world, Baba. I'm a refugee here. I'm in this world, but I'm not of this world. This realization we should have. Narad Muni had this realization when he associated Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, when he associated with transcendentalists. He had this realization that I am living in this world, but I am not of this world. Uh, And he accordingly aligned his life. He dovetailed his life. He channelized his life. Likewise, I should be living in this world, but I am not of this world. So, sounds good in speaking good. Huh? Okay, I do not belong here. See, many a times when I am frustrated, I can easily tell myself, oh, I'm done with this material world. I've had enough. Enough material desires. I do not belong here. When I'm received with a setback, and bad news, or something stressful, something that agitates me, something that triggers me, then what do I tell myself? Oh, I do not belong here. I'm not of this world. Uh, this has got nothing to do to me. But if something which I love listening, say Wimbledon, and I might like Roger Federer, oh Roger Federer won, then do I say, oh I do not belong to this world? हाँ बोलते हैं क्या? सचिन तेंदुलकर ने छक्का मारा, हम बोलते हैं क्या भाई I do not belong to this world? In happiness, I rarely think that I do not belong to this world. In happiness, I always am rejoicing. But if I'm been bitten by a dog, oh, I do not belong to this world. Pathetic place. So Krishna doesn't want this sort of detachment or this sort of attitude. है ना? That when I hear, oh, such a sports star, he scored the goal, and I got so happy. No, no, this is not touch and go. This is not touch and go. So we all have cravings, we all have desires, we all have attachments, we all have some longings, है ना? Because of our subconscious mind's impressions, sub impressions, some scars and all. We should always remember I am here fighting with myself. I'm here fighting to die, give up material attachments and all, fighting my second nature, wanting to live eternally. A sadhaka, a devotee, he does not he does not live to die. No, we are not meant to die. I'm not living to die. I should be dying to live eternally. Yeah, I should be dying to live eternally. I should chant to chant eternally. I should read to read eternally. I should listen to listen eternally. And these all should not be like a process. They should never be like a task. They should never be like a burden. They should never be like some step one, step two, step three, and all thing. If anything is become step oriented, it is not love, Baba. Love is a free flow. है कि नहीं? भगवान तो फ्री फ्लो करते हैं ना कृष्ण लीला में. कृष्णा इन कृष्णा लीला इन कृष्णा पास टाइम्स is exchanging so much of mellows as free flow of love. Love is a free flow. Love is beyond right and wrong. Love is beyond good and bad. But for me to uh, the criteria na is to come to an equilibrium level. So this is Krishna saying, when he sees such things in sadhaka, it pleases him. These are the elements which we want to have. Then it pleases Krishna, and from there we can cry out more. Okay, on this note, maybe I give you all peace. Any question, comments, or uh, any clarification, or anything to add, or anything to say, share? Okay, thank you very much for your presence, participation. We continue tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare